Sean's team, what else have the nation been talking about this week?
Badgers! Badgers!
It's a very upbeat response.
Ah, they can't kill all the badgers.
Well, they don't know how many there are.
Badgers have moved the goalposts.
This is actually a quote from a government minister when Environment Secretary Owen Paterson was asked if he'd moved the goalposts, because they're now saying they need to kill more badgers. He said the badgers have moved the goalposts.
They do, and that's why they must die. That's the kind of thing they do.
Richard, what's your problem with
We've got a
badgers?
massive problem with badgers. We have a lot of badgers anyway, and now we've got all these refugee badgers coming in, running away from all
Starting
these...
to sound like Clarkson, mate.
No! He was rude about badgers. No, he was rude about badgers. I like badgers, but I only like the ones that we already had. And then all the protesters were blowing whistles and banging saucepans to scare them away. So now they've all come and lived at our place, and that's kind of chucked our home badgers out. And...
How can you tell the difference between the new badgers and the old badgers?
Well, they've got different accents.
Because... no.
I think the cull's a good thing because they say that there's the equivalent of one dead badger for every 10 yards between Tiverton and Exeter.
They always say that, don't they? Yeah, people are always saying that.
No, but it's actually quite a useful way of finding your way home.
Yeah.
Instead of just sprinkling rose petals as you walk along, just follow
The usual method, yes.
A trail of dead woodland animals.
We gave it to them. That's what I feel sorry for. We caught TB in the Industrial Revolution, gave it to the cows. The cows gave it to the badgers. We killed all the cows that had it. We got rid of it. The badgers were just left with TB. Like, there you go, mate. Oh, we've got bloody TB now. And now they're trying to give it back, and we're shooting them all. It's like giving someone a cold and then shooting them, going, don't give me that cold, mate.
I'm a supporter of the badgers, and I've actually rescued 2 badgers, because they came round to shoot them, and I had a cottage down there, and I took them in, and I pretended they were slippers. And I would have got away with it, but one of them started coughing.
Carol, what do you make of the badger cull?
Well, I think it's interesting because obviously TB is supposedly spread by the badgers, and with this cull now, they're all running for the hills and obviously spreading it even more.
There is no TB. The whole thing is just the Countryside Alliance. It gives them an excuse to shoot something that's slightly black. Why? There's no TB.
Do you think the reason people are so upset about badgers is because they're like our pandas? You know, people are feel very fondly towards pandas. Do you think people see them badger as it's like a shit panda?
They are a bit like pandas, because I love watching 2 of them shag.
What, a panda and a badger?
Oh, no. 2 badgers having sex, not anything weird.
You like watching a couple of badgers?
Because there's 2 pandas up in Scotland they're trying to get to have it off.
Yeah.
So if people like watching pandas having sex, people might also like to watch badgers do it.
The badger might help, because the badger could be like a fluffer for the panda. There you go. And then the panda comes in and takes over.
Sure.
Panda just goes, out of the way, sunshine. I'll finish this job.
Let's have a look and see if the badger cull is up there. What are you talking about? That's the name of our first round. It's our panellists' job to guess the British public's top 5 most popular talking points. Sean's team, what do you think the nation have been talking about this week?
Strictly Come Dancing has started again.
It's back on. It's huge.
Yeah, it is huge. It's massive. Although the line-up is a bit... Well, I think most of them should bring a utility bill. I don't know who they are.
I thought there were huge stars on there.
Who?
Vanessa Feltz. You did that. Yeah. I said no.
No, I did that as well. I've been locked in a house with Vanessa Feltz. I can testify.
Of course.
Yeah, I did.
When you did Celebrity Big Brother.
I did Comic Relief Big Brother in 2001 with Vanessa Feltz, and she is she's nuts.
How long did you last in that, Jack?
I was in the whole week. I won it, of course.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Charm and personality that shines through. Captured the nation's heart.
Exactly. People just sort of warmed to me, and
I think people kept you in because they knew it would irritate you.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, like, do you think maybe she just said, like, I'll come and do the show, but I'm just not gonna do too much because I'm a bit heavy? Yeah.
Do you mean like serious, or what do you...
No, I mean, like, seriously.
Oh, no, you're
like...
being incredibly bitchy. OK, great.
No!
I didn't realise where you were going with this, but no, I'm with you.
You can't go, no, you just called her fat and
No,
go...
I didn't. No, I didn't
used
call her
another
fat.
word.
I didn't say... I didn't. Because I'm just saying she hasn't danced much, and to me, if you're going on a dancing show, you should dance.
No, in your defence, she came on my show at the start of the year, Let's Dance, and she said, I'm not going to dance. And literally, I don't know if you saw it, we lowered her from the ceiling onto a gigantic 8-foot-long cannon with her legs spread-eagled in a sequin leotard.
Was that the only way you could get her in the building?
David Doherty, would you go on the show?
I was just trying to think of what it would require for me to watch it. First, it would require either a baking element or a crystal meth element. The ultimate TV show would be a combination of so like the Great British Breaking Bad off, where they'd all cook meth, but then the judging would take ages.
John, would you do Strictly?
No, I don't dance. The only dance I do is YMCA. That's more spelling than dancing.
Sean, presumably you're pretty... I mean, you watch the show. Would you go on the show? Would you go on Strictly?
Well, you know, if my whole career fell apart in tatters and I had really no option and a lot of tax bills to pay and the situation... No, I actually didn't mean that. Sometimes you get lucky. I mean, you only go on it if your career has reached a certain point. Basically, you have to throw yourselves up into the sort of, like, tides of popularity and hope you get washed up on a beach, not smashed to pieces on the rocks.
Right, then, well, on that note, Jamelia, would you do it?
Stop.
What?
Honest to God, I get asked to do it every single year, and just hell no.
It's one of the 2 biggest shows on TV, so, I mean, it's...
Do you know the stupid amounts of money they offer you to do that show? I just wouldn't...
How much did they offer?
No, they're like
Oh, come on.
I mean, ridiculous
What,
amounts
tell
of
us.
money. You can buy a house, put it that way. And
Yeah, but you live in
always say no.
Birmingham.
Yeah.
Let's have a look and see if Strictly is up there. Hello and welcome to 8 out of 10 Cats Uncut, a show all about opinion polls, surveys and statistics. Did you know, for example, 1.5 million Britons would like to be buried with their mobile phone? And if you answer it when you're sitting behind me in the cinema, you will be. 1 in 20 people have held a party for their cat's birthday. Even the cat's thinking, this is a bit tragic. And 22% of nightclub hookups are one-night stands. Yeah, who would have thought the guy you tugged off in a toilet cubicle 2 minutes after meeting him in Hollywood's nightclb Romford wouldn't turn out to be the love of your life? But if you are watching, Darren, call me. OK, fingers on buzzers, 2 more things still to get. What do you think?
People are scared of going to the dentist, aren't they? I know you're not, but some people are.
I was wondering about your teeth. Do you have are these for best, those teeth? Do you have a set for just wearing at home?
Yeah, these are for special, these are for best.
There's your best teeth.
Do you know, I'm upset, Mr. Carr, because Cheryl Cole was voted best smile in this country. And I feel like you deserved that.
I don't know if she's got the best smile. I think Ryland has got the best smile. Yeah, take a look at Ryland.
Is that real?
Yeah, Armitage Shanks did his. That's incredible. Is
that genuine? It's his teeth?
Those are his teeth, yeah. OK, so, Catherine, you recently tweeted that you were quoted £6,000 to straighten your teeth. Let's have a look at the tweet. I can't see what they would have done. They're fine.
Well, if I had £6,000, I'd sort out my willy finger syndrome, because...
Oh, yeah, you have got a touch of the willy fingers there, haven't you?
Each one of my fingers looks like a small penis.
Not that small.
I had to get a brace the year before last I got punched in the face in a Chinese takeaway. Yeah. There was a drunk man in, and he was being racist to the man behind the counter, and so that does not happen when the D-man's around.
Sure, the enforcer.
I told him to shut up, and so he swung, but he was so drunk, he went that way and fell over that way, and so I stepped back, and then he went that way, and he fell that way, and, like, this could have gone on for hours. But the man behind the counter, the victim, just looked up, had missed what had gone on before, and just saw two pricks fighting, and he jumped over the counter and punched me in the face. It knocked that tooth back 1/4 of an inch.
That's a good dental story, but not the best dental story. This is the best dental story. Last year, a dentist in Poland was treating her ex-boyfriend for toothache after he dumped her. She knocked him unconscious, knocked him out with the drugs, and then she removed all 32 of his teeth.
Whoa.
I imagine he said... Tinchy, are you scared of the dentist?
No, I'm not. That's one thing I'm not scared of.
Yay! We found it! OK, let's see if going to the dentist is in our top 3. Yes, going to the dentist. When I was a kid, I was scared of the dentist. He was a paedophile. John's team, what do you think the nation have been talking about?
What have you been chatting about?
On Tuesday, England won the World Cup, didn't they?
England! England! Hey!
Who are you?
Henning, so you've lived... How long have you lived in the UK?
Since 2002. So I've seen them win many, many World Cups. I don't enjoy football as much as I used to, because our German side, we're rubbish these days. We have not won a major tournament for 17 years. Haven't been to a final of one for about 5 years. And been to a semi-final of one for practically 18 months, so...
Can I remind you you're a guest here?
Are
you a big football fan, Helen?
Yeah, I like football. I think it can be quite exciting. But I've been away, so I haven't actually caught up with the news. So they had this. They had a game that basically got them towards the World Cup. Yeah. So who was that against?
It was against... They beat Leeds. They beat Leeds.
No, they didn't. So it was
England played against Jossie's Giants.
No. Who did England play against? England played against...
Count Duculus 11. They played Poland.
The Poles, they looked ill, though, didn't they? I saw that. The Polish people in general, they look fairly ill. Whoever they replaced, so they always looked as if they hadn't slept for 3 weeks.
They've had a tough time of it historically, to be honest.
Maybe they've been watching the History Channel just before the game. Oh, Jesus. What those Germans did to us. They realised, actually, we should be playing with the English.
Sean, if it was a choice, OK, between England winning the World Cup and Chelsea, your team, winning the European Championship, what would you go for?
Well, one that's not plausible, is it?
I think Chelsea are a good side.
Just literally no chance of England winning the World Cup.
You say that, but on the other side...
Hey!
Yeah.
John, if it was a choice between England winning the World Cup and Leeds not being relegated again...
Somebody's Googled football this week, haven't they?
Funny is now they're starting to wheel out all the statistics, isn't it? Like, that England hasn't lost a football game in Brazil since 1972. Well, Germany hasn't lost a world war since 1945, but all amounts to very little.
These are all good stats. They're really getting me up for it. I think we're going to win.
I think obviously the big story is that Roy Hodgson, he gets us to the World Cup, and they don't even give him 12 hours. Like, his duvet's still warm, he's just got out of it, and there's, like, Roy's a racist on the front cover of The Sun. This ridiculous story about him, part of his half-time team talk was this joke, a motivational joke, about 2 monkeys in a spaceship and an astronaut. And the joke is that the NASA speaks to the first monkey and says, switch on the retro boosters, and the happens. Then in the second monkey, do this, whatever, and that happens. And then they say to the astronaut, he goes, I know. He said, feed the monkeys and don't touch anything. And he told that joke, and then he was saying to the players, feed the monkey, meaning he meant Andros Townsend, as in he's the main man. But it's been taken by the press as a racist statement.
It's just an old joke, isn't it? He's done nothing.
Well, the ironic thing about it is it's an old Irish joke. It used to be, you know, it's a racist joke about the Irish. And Roy's gone, oh, I know what, it's a bit racist. I'll just say astronaut. I won't say Irish astronaut. He thinks he's removed. He thinks he's removed the racism point, not
He's
seeing.
wily.
So the players came out in support. I just don't think they've understood yet. I think the penny will drop in the midweek that they think he was being racist, so that's why they're going, it's ridiculous, right? Oh, what? He's not... Oh, I thought he was being racist. That's disgusting. If he's telling jokes in the dressing room when he could have been being racist, I've had enough.
But the player himself has come out and said it's nothing, it's not newsworthy. And on Sky News, they were reporting the story with the strapline underneath saying, Andros Townsend says, this is not newsworthy. And we're here at the FA, what Roy Hodgson has to say, and he goes, Andros Townsend, not newsworthy, not newsworthy. I mean, the irony was delicious.
I don't know an enormous amount about football, despite the fact that I've been talking so much during this section of the show. But there's something about Hodgson. He doesn't necessarily have a great deal of sort of confidence about him. He doesn't necessarily look confident. If your boiler stopped working and you sort of rang the yellow pages and said, can someone mend the boiler, and Roy Hodgson turned up at your door, you'd immediately think, well, he's not going to get it started, is he? Look at him.
Let's have a look at him. I mean, he looks fine now, doesn't he? That fills me with confidence.
That's a man saying, I don't know what's wrong with your boiler.
That's a man saying, has anyone seen my chin?
What I liked about the way the press are just desperate to get some kind of innuendo or pun on the word Brazilian. So they're just these really these headlines that grammatically don't work, like let's get a Brazilian, because they know that the Brazilian means the waxing job, but it doesn't quite work. They should just go, we're in the World Cup, shave your pubes. There, we've said it. That's what we really want to talk about, you shaving your pubes. We know we're not going to win, so shave it off.
All right, let's have a look and see if it's up there. Yes, this is the news that the England football team has won a short holiday in Brazil. Johnstein, what do you think people have been talking about this week?
I don't really talk to people. Tend to move away when
We put 2 girls on your team this week because we thought it would force you to talk to girls.
OK. Hey.
All right, John. Yeah.
Girls.
John.
What about Tesco saying that we're throwing away, is it 2/3 of our food that we buy?
Phenomenal.
So much wasted food.
Yeah, well, specifically, it's the bagged salad. They reckon 2/3 of it goes in the bin. Tess, do you waste any food?
Well, I try not to, but yeah, hands up, I'm guilty of occasionally throwing away a bag of salad that's gone past its sell-by date.
You've got kids, give it to them.
Well, I do.
Whatever you and Vernon don't have, throw to them.
I do. And if it's not them, it's the dog. But occasionally you do find yourself throwing stuff away, don't you?
The thing is the labelling, isn't it? Because they say bag salad, mixed leaves, but actually that's not accurate, is it? It should be mixed leaves stroke compost. That's what it is. You're basically buying a bag of compost. Because sometimes, you know, it's gone off by the time you got it home. I go through red lights just to get the food home so I can eat it. Have a picnic in the car park.
I think there's a smell test where we all believe the best before date, just give it a sniff. If you're not sick in your mouth, it's fine.
Yeah.
It seems like a lot of waste, 2/3 of everything you eat, but I thought about it, it's true, because I've got an example of, like, if I'm eating a packet of 3 Scotch eggs, I'll eat one and throw the other 2 at cyclists.
You've really put that in terms everyone can relate to.
I waste so little. I went on holiday and took some Nurofen, because you can never be too prepared on a holiday, can you?
No, John.
And when I got back, I saw that one of the Nurofen had popped out of the little metal thing they're in, and I didn't want to waste it, so I ate it. Didn't even have a headache. Just thought, I'm not putting that in the bin. Then I had to get shit-faced just to get the benefit out of it.
I hate food waste. I think it's the worst thing in the world. I'd eat things off the floor just to make sure there's no waste. I also hate mice. And one time, my flatmate, to catch a mice for me while I was asleep, left some peanut butter by the toaster with rat poison on it and a spoon. And I came downstairs the next morning, I was like, oh, waste not, want not, I had to go to hospital and get my stomach pumped. It shows how much I hate food waste and also how easy I'd be to trap. But it's...
Krishnan, do you waste food?
I do waste food. I'm really bad. I'm a bit obsessive about the dates. So I'm always the one who looks at the date and it says it runs out on the 23rd, so I can't eat it. Because if it's off, then I might want to be sick or something. So,
Krishnan, you've been reading the news and all these stories about, you know, conspiracies too long. It's bland. Years ago, there was a flood in Honduras, and a woman was in a tree giving birth to a baby. A helicopter came along and pulled her out of the tree as she gave birth to the baby, and she was put into the helicopter with the umbilical cord still attached, and they both survived. Your bag salad isn't going to kill you.
I feel that story might have been a sledgehammer to crack a nut there, really. There was a helicopter and a flood in Honduras to get him to eat some salad.
A bad bag of salad might make you rush the news, won't it?
Well, I've got a weak stomach, and reading the news on a weak stomach is not good.
No.
My sister once had to throw up. She's a newsreader as well, and she had to throw up in between the stories. So she would do an intro and then go... and then carried on, you know.
Was it a particularly gory story?
There was nobody to relieve her.
Madonna has a new video out where she tries to be sexy. Sean, do you read the best before dates? Do you adhere to them?
No. I've got pesto in my fridge that Assad wouldn't fire at insurgents. I don't give a monkey, so I'm fine. I've got cast iron stomach.
Yeah.
The problem is, we have a generation growing up now who have never seen Ready, Steady, Cook. So they don't know how to make a meal out of a Mars bar, a red pepper and a stock cube. So they open the cupboards and everything's a meal anyway, and they just go, oh, I've got nothing in. Ainsley Harriott would have turned that into a gourmet feast and been delightful company in the meantime.
OK, let's have a look and see what's up there. Yes, Tesco has revealed the extent of food wastage in the country. According to the survey, 53% of food in this country goes to waste. The rest goes to hips and bums. Right, girls?